Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. Will a Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder rematch, will it be delayed? Because Bob Arum, the top-ranked boss who has just inked a co-promotional deal with Tyson Fury, he doesn't want it next. He thinks that it should be in September, that they should wait, have another fight first. And this scenario is something that many fans were concerned about when this deal, this top-ranked co-promotional arrangement with ESPN and Tyson Fury and Queensberry Promotion, Frank Warren's company, when it was announced. Would it be a stumbling block to the Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fight, which has been ordered by the WBC? The purse bid for that fight has been delayed twice. We were told it was very close. Mauricio Suleiman said very close to finalizing a deal. Both sides had said it was an easy fight to make, that they were getting close. But then we have this bombshell of this deal that was announced, and really it sort of set the cat amongst the pigeons. So I'll get to the comments from Bob Arum, because if they do delay, which Arum seemingly wants, well then what? But also, if you did watch the announcement at the BT Studios, Tyson Fury and Frank Warren, towards the back end of that, they spoke about Fury fighting 3 times in 2019, and that the next time would be in May. And the language, it was very careful. They didn't say it was going to be Deontay Wilder, just that he would be fighting again, and they would like that to be in May. And Fury sort of said, I'd like to fight next week. But very careful not to say it was going to be Deontay Wilder. But the LA Times has spoken to Bob Arum. So see on screen here, Tyson Fury best served to pause Deontay Wilder rematch, promoter says. So Bob Arum says, we envisage this rematch can reach 1 to 2 million homes. The only way to do that is to allow the general sports fan to really get to know these guys, Arum told the Los Angeles Times. Following the announcement of the deal, blah, blah, blah. If that takes each of them fighting another opponent first, then rolling them into a September fight, the money on the table would be more than they can conceive of. That's the way that I look at it. And then further down, Bob Arum says, they realize for him to be a star in the US, he's going to need ESPN. Now they have the biggest platform in sports and can fight anybody to achieve that exposure. Even Deontay Wilder should be celebrating this, because it shows how sincere the involvement of ESPN in boxing is. They're in with both feet. Those people who have a percentage of Wilder's earnings should be overjoyed. This arrangement will drive him to more pay-per-view buys. He'll make even more. And then it goes on to say that they tried to contact Steven Espinoza, but the sources that they spoke to believe that Showtime only retains the opportunity of last refusal to match an offer ESPN could present to televise the fight on its pay-per-view platform, which debuts in April with Terence Crawford defending his welterweight belt against England's Amir Khan. If Wilder allows loyalty to Showtime to be an issue, he's a fool. Wilder should only be looking at how much he can make. And that's Bob Arum, the top-ranked promoter. And he is the big cheese at Top Rank, and obviously a big part of this co-promotional arrangement that has been signed between Frank Warren, Bob Arum, Tyson Fury, ESPN, and Queensberry Promotion. So, yeah, Bob Arum, it's clear what he would like to happen. He doesn't want Fury fighting Deontay Wilder next, because he wants to build an audience for Tyson Fury in the United States. Have him out again against someone else before the Wilder rematch. Deontay Wilder, meanwhile, his people and Wilder himself have said they want that rematch next. They want to do it in May. They want to fight Tyson Fury, have the fight. And they would prefer Showtime to be involved in a deal whenever that fight may take place. If it is just ESPN, but they could work with Showtime in some capacity. That's what Shelley Finkel is saying. So in terms of Bob Arum's comments, is it what I want to hear? Not really, because I think many of us, even casual fans, want to see that rematch as soon as possible. Because if a Joshua fight is not there for either Wilder or Fury, and they're going to be fighting each other, well, let's see that next. Because otherwise, if they're not fighting next, well, one of them could have fought Anthony Joshua, and we wouldn't have needed to have this Jarrell Miller fight. So what Arum is saying, though, it does actually make a lot of sense. It's not necessarily what I want to hear, because I want to see the rematch next, but, Tyson Fury is just signed to this new platform, ESPN. There's millions of people that watch ESPN. I think what they were saying, there's 3 million or plus subscribers to ESPN. So you've got this whole broad base of fans potentially that you could sell the fight to, plus others who would come in, boxing fans to buy that fight. And you want to warm up this new guy who you're going to be paying millions of dollars per fight. You want to warm him up to those fans and introduce him with a fight first before a really big fight. Build the hype and buzz into that rematch, because there will be many people who watch ESPN who won't necessarily have seen that first fight on Showtime pay-per-view for $75. So I can see the sense of what Arum is trying to say, that ultimately, if they do something first, effectively a tune-up fight for Fury of some description to warm him up to the audience, that sort of stuff, the fight itself with Wilder, if they can do that at the back end of this year, it would be bigger. I guess my concern is, if it doesn't happen next, does it ever happen? That's the real concern. There's just a number of issues associated with this signing. Even though Deontay Wilder has been quick to say that ESPN being involved isn't a barrier to him fighting Fury, because he doesn't believe that there'll be any issues there, because he's a free agent as such, and he's not sort of tied to Showtime. He's not tied to other networks, that the broadcasting issues on his end aren't such a concern, where obviously Fury now is very much wedded to ESPN and those arrangements in the United States for the foreseeable future. But yeah, I mean, you throw up all those issues with him signing with them, immediately I think many of us probably thought, well, this makes it harder. So Deontay Wilder's trying to sort of calm the waters there. But then you hear Bob Arum sort of say, well, I'm not really interested in making that next. I'd prefer it to make it down the line. There is some merit in that, but at the same time, this just could never happen. So what do you make of that? Bob Arum saying he would like to have it delayed, potentially have it in September after Fury has had another fight, and Wilder too. Build the fight, build into the rematch, but does it need that? Does it really need that? Or is this just another thing for fans, long-suffering boxing fans, to contend with, as the big fights don't happen, the ones that should happen when we want them to happen? And it almost looked like it was going to happen. Things were looking like they were lining up in 2019 for all sorts of decent fights to happen. One thread's been pulled on this, Tyson Fury doing this deal, and it puts a number of other fights in jeopardy, because Dominic Breazeale and Dillian Whyte, if Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder don't fight next, well, that fight's probably not happening either. Deontay Wilder likely will have to face his mandatory Dominic Breazeale. The WBC had come in behind Tyson Fury, granted this direct rematch, and if it doesn't happen next, well, there's all sorts of domino and flow-on effects from it. But yeah, drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.